The Every Point Sports Podcast featuring Greg and Jack starts right now.
Oh, welcome in everyone to the Every Point Sports Podcast. I am Jack Stash. We've got the OldGamerGK Entertainment with us today, and we are getting you ahead of the lines. How are we doing, Greg?
We're doing great. We are doing great. We have been mopping it up the last couple weeks. If you guys follow us over on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, I've been bragging about it. So we've been mopping it up. We've been making money. Been good. Some good weeks. Some really good games this past couple weeks. So yeah, we're doing great. We're doing great. I'm kind of starting to get a little bummed. We're starting to dwindle down a little bit on these football games on Saturday and Sunday. So a couple more months, it's going to be sad days.
sad.
But no, I'm sorry. We do have the NBA. We do have that ramping up. So Jack and I are still going to have some great sports coverage over here after the NFL season. Just heads up. If anybody has been with us since day one, we cover all sports. We were heavy into basketball and baseball last year when we first started. So that's going to pick back up again, guys.
Yeah, super excited. I used to be this big NBA guy. I loved, Michael Jordan, Vince Carter, Allen. I loved all these guys. I do believe that the league has waned a little bit over the years, but
last year we had a great playoff run, didn't we? It kind of felt kind of old school a little bit with the physicality with Edwards and stuff, with the Knicks. Like it kind of felt not old school, but it kind of felt good again. It felt like tough ball. Even the Pacers fought some hardball last year.
I agree. Yeah, the playoffs were inspired basketball.
Yes.
I'm a big college basketball guy, though. Like, I can't wait. Well, let's
UConn, baby.
They already burned me this year.
Yeah. I usually don't start betting on college basketball until towards the end of the year. So.
All right, so you wanted to mention something before we got started today, and I thought it was very important. So let's get to what your mention is.
Guys, if you guys tuned into us probably about a month or so ago, we talked about shopping around for point spreads. Another thing that I don't know why until last week kind of popped in my head while I'm sitting there and I'm trying to log into DraftKings, and it comes up, for new people coming into the site, $5, you get $100 free bets. I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me check some other sites. I jumped on ESPN. $150 in free bets for your first, I think it was $10 bet. Won my $10 bet. Put in $150 in bets of free bets, phony money. Doesn't cost you a thing except for the $10 that you put on your initial bet. I won $80 out of that 150 in bets last Sunday on the NFL. So my advice, guys, is while you're out shopping around for these point spreads, if you haven't already joined a betting site, join them. Deposit $20, put down whatever minimum bet that they ask you for, and pick up on some free bets. We're already over halfway through the season. Pick up on these while you have a chance. Make the money while you have the chance. We have the most information right now on these teams than we have had all year. Now is the time to start betting if you're going to bet. If you haven't bet yet, now is the time to start. Start listening to us. Take our bet series. When we say tease. When we say stay away from points, stay away from the points. Take the money line. Listen to us. We will make you some money. 11-4-1 last week, guys. I made bank.
And that's really important, right? Shop around for lines, right? You wouldn't go to the first car lots and buy that car. Right? You'd want to find the price. You go home, you talk to your significant other, right? You try and find a better price for the vehicle that you want without any compromises, right? Because you still want to bet on that team. And it was great that Greg said the word bet a lot because we don't gamble.
No.
Well, what is the difference? Well, let me explain to you, right? A bet is a lot of education behind you placing money on something.
Mhm.
A gamble is 50-50 and you don't really know. You don't have a
Yeah.
clue. This is going out. A gamble is going outside with clothing that you put on without looking at the weather report. That's a
Mhm.
gamble, baby, because you don't know.
Yeah.
A,
A bet
bet is complicated.
a gamble in betting terms is when you have a gut feeling. "Oh, I got a gut feeling I gotta take this game." That is a gamble.
Yes.
That's not a bet. That's a gamble. Gut feeling is a gamble. By the way, I am 2-0 in my gambles this year. But again, we strongly, strongly don't advise that.
No.
Stick to the smart bets. Bets, guys.
I just want to mention one other thing before we get to these games.
Absolutely.
I think this is really important. I wrote this down in my notes. Yesterday was a more important day for some NFL teams than today is. And what I mean by that is there was great college football on yesterday.
Mhm.
So yesterday was more of a recruiting tool for some of these NFL teams. That's where they're at in their seasons. When we mention games, we're going to let you know which teams we're talking about as far as that goes.
Mhm.
I think it's very important.
Oh, absolutely.
There are some teams that have moved on.
Mhm.
They just have.
Yeah,
all I want.
absolutely, absolutely, and those are the teams that, you wanna identify and you wanna bet against.
Yes, correct. All right, on to the docket, baby.
Alright, let's get this set up
Pull it up
here.
for us. I love when the docket gets pulled up.
Here we
Oh,
go.
it's coming. There it is.
Alright, NFL. Here we
We're using
go.
DraftKings in case you guys are wondering,
Yes.
right? 'Cause
Yeah,
we told you
I
guys
always, that is my main betting site. Again, I am going to start using others, but that's my main one. That's where I withdraw most of my money from.
and I'm in Florida, so I use Hard Rock because that's what we have down here.
Okay,
You
all right.
gotta use what you gotta use. And so if you
Absolutely.
guys are wondering, that's when you drive down into Florida, yes, you can download and yes, you can gamble. Or
Mhm.
bet. Don't gamble.
All right. Hold on one second. Let me get this back there.
No, take your time.
All right.
We're
Okay, first game we got this week. We got the Carolina Panthers at the Philadelphia Eagles, who are looking like one of the best teams in the NFL. Panthers are playing a lot better ball. They're at plus 14. The Panthers are. Over-unders 45. Panthers are plus 600. Philadelphia is negative 900. Wow, you ain't going to make nothing off of that game.
Well, I mean, it all depends, right? What kind of brass do you have to take this game, right? You could take Philadelphia because they're probably going to win. Sure, minus 900. You could run a tease or a part. There's a great parlay game.
Mhm.
But I'm going to tell you right now that this line is set. This line is telling me that Carolina is quitting. That's just what
That's
it's
what the
telling me.
line is telling you, and
Yeah.
me also, but the last 2 games is telling me something totally different.
I know, and that's what's interesting, right? Because you'll sit there and you'll go, "Oh, Carolina went toe to toe with Tampa, and they went
Mhm.
toe to toe with Kansas City, right?"
And didn't they go toe to toe with the Vikings too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that might be all Carolina has.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, I think the tank is emptied. I really do. I just can't believe that this line would come out like this. Listen, this line should be at 10. Or it should be at like 8.5 for how well Carolina's been playing. Somebody knows that Bryce Young is going to go up into Philly. The weather's going to be colder than he's used to. Outdoors, crisp, and I think Philly's going to get after him. I'm telling you, I think Philly wins by 20.
Okay. All right.
I think it's one of those.
I do. I like Philly. I don't know.
I think it's one of those
The Panthers
49ers
scare
games.
me. What's that?
It's one of those 49ers games where everybody looks like they're playing a little bit better. Then they have to travel to San Francisco, and you're like, oh, here comes the boom. I'm telling you, it's happening. Philly is going to absolutely light Carolina on fire. And, you get hit a couple times early by that Cooper DeJean, and you might just not be interested anymore. He picked Derrick Henry up and threw him into the ground. That kid can absolutely hit, and from Iowa, right?
Yes, Iowa. Yep. Yeah. He's and he can play safety or corner. He played both in college, and he excelled at both. He was actually drafted as a cornerback.
Yeah, see, I even muted, I unplugged my mixer, everything. I don't know. Can you hear me?
That's better. Whatever was going on in the background is back. Go ahead, talk.
Yeah. Hello?
Oh, that's
Yeah, I turned all my stuff off, and it was still coming through.
yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I actually unplugged my whole mixer from my computer, everything, and it was still staticky.
That's crazy. I have you a little bit. It's still real staticky. Not as what it was before. Go ahead, talk right there.
Hello? Hello?
Not there. Come back.
Come back with what? Hello?
Go ahead, say something.
Hello?
Right there. No, not into it. Back in your chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's still tough. It's still
Hello?
tough.
Can you hear me fine though?
I can hear you fine, but it's real muffled.
See, from our podcast, it sounds fine. I'm listening to it on the iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds fine.
All right, let's go.
All right. Let's see here. Where were we? Oh, we're finishing up with the Eagles game. I'm not touching this game today. I don't know what team we're really going to get with the Panthers. If we're going to get a team that is fighting every last breath, or if they're just laying down, like you said, playing against a very, very good Philadelphia team.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I just feel like this is minus 14. By the way, you don't have to touch this game. There's no reason to. right? Because we have many others that we like that are slam dunks. But if you have to go after this one, it's screaming. It is absolutely screaming for you to take Carolina, and I don't think you should.
Again, I'm not touching this game. I'm trying to adjust some stuff here on my thing, making sure, seeing if I can get it to sound a little bit better. How does that sound now, Nick? Any better? Again, I'm not touching this game. Even if I teased it down, it wouldn't be teased down enough. 8 points is not enough. It would be 8 points. It would have to be 6 or less for me to tease it down. I'm not touching this game at all.
All right.
Next, we got the Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Browns are at plus 6.5. The over-under is 43.5. The money line is plus 245 for the Browns. Steelers are at negative 305. What do you like on this one, Jack?
I feel like this line represents what we saw last time. Right. So what we saw last time was a blizzard game, basically. Right. It opened up nice. Right. Pittsburgh was doing what Pittsburgh does. Then it became a little bit snowy and became anyone's game. And Cleveland ended up winning late. Fine. Whatever. We understand that. Pittsburgh's obviously the better team. But, really, these teams are close. And Cleveland plays close games with people, especially with Winston and his quarterback. Because everybody likes to use the moniker gunslinger. He really is. Mm-hmm. He is a gunslinger, baby. He throws interception after touchdown after interception after touchdown. That's Jameis Winston. I still think that season where he had 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions, ESPN has missed an opportunity to do the Jameis Winston 30 for 30.
Uh-huh.
I still think they have. But I believe in him enough to where I like the Browns getting 6.5 here. And I would want to not sweat. So I would bump it up to 7.5. Because I think that, if you get if Pittsburgh scores a late game touchdown and they're up by 7, you don't have to worry about that garbage half point that you really needed here.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. I do, because 6.5 is a lot here. If you are going to take points, definitely take the Browns. I like even buying that extra point, like you said. What I like even more, I like teasing this down to a half a point, where you're giving a half a point. Let me just give you a couple things here that I have wrote down about this game here real quick. Tomlin, you guys know how I pound the drum on him when he is a underdog. He is a 64% winning percentage. Well, when he's favored by 6 or more points, he's totally the opposite side of the spectrum. He's only 45% against the spread with 6 or more points. So with that being said, I love the Browns with the 6.5, but I love the Steelers to win. So therefore, I do like the tease. The one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to tease this game and the Bills game, which we'll get to that in a little bit. So yeah, that's what I like with this, with the Steelers. I really, I think they're playing very good football. But again, you guys have to remember, for all the knock on Jameis Winston, he loves to throw that ball around. He very rare will have 2 bad back-to-back games. He's not going to throw 2 pick sixes this game against the Steelers. It's not going to happen. So,
and he's the best quarterback in Cleveland. So,
well, yeah,
yeah, he just is. So we'll take. Let's see. I check marked. I took Philly with the points, and we'll. God, I want the Browns a 7.5. That's what I'm putting. You guys don't have to follow that, but I don't like being nervous in games, especially with Pittsburgh being a really good team. I understand that, and you know what? Pittsburgh could absolutely get Cleveland here because Cleveland played a spectacular overtime, not overtime, but they played a thriller against Denver, and maybe maybe that's what this was reflecting as well. We have to think about that a little bit.
Since Winston has taken over, that game has that team has played a lot better. They responded a lot better. They've been a lot more competitive. So I mean, for that fact alone, and plus this is a divisional game. We all know how they play each other. They play each other tough. Usually within 3 points. So that's what I think about this game. If you're going to take the points, definitely take Cleveland. If you want to tease that with that Bills game, or even you could tease that with the next game we're going to talk about, which I would even really, really like. You can do that. So that's what I like. And as we're talking about that, the next game is the Las Vegas Raiders at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Raiders are getting 6.5 points. Over under is 47. Raiders are at plus 250. Tampa Bay is at negative 310. So to continue what I was saying is, if you want to tease a game, tease these two teams. Tease the Steelers and tease the Bucs. Tease that down to where you're giving a 0.5 point on both games and walk away a winner.
If you tuned into Fantasy Farm Sports on Wednesday, you had the opportunity to listen to me talk about the Packers and the Lions game. And what I really loved there was, like, if you wanted to get wild, right? You want to take an opportunity to take a swing at the Lions, you take the Packers on the money line, you're getting some value. Now, in hindsight, I understand that the Packers lost, but that line was bouncing between 3 and 3.5. Just true. That's what was going on. What I did was I bumped it up to 4.5 because I liked the Packers participating and having a good game, especially a bounce back in their division. And I liked the Bucs on the money line. And that's how you get value, right? You take an alternate spread and then you take a money line that you love. And that's what I've done here. So I don't have much to do on my Sunday, but sit there and wait to collect. And why is it going to be so easy, Jack Stash? Well, it's going to be so easy because I mentioned that yesterday was more important day for some NFL teams than today is, and that goes for your Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders want to be a top 2 pick in the draft. They prefer to be number 1 so that they can pick their guy, right? You don't want to have a question, right? You want your guy in the building once, the season's over. And the season is over for the Raiders. And the Bucs need to win. And the Bucs need to win. And they're at home. It's everything. Bucs need to win. They're at home. Raiders want to lose. I mean, I don't know how else this could be gift wrapped to you. Don't worry about the 6.5 because Tampa's banged up too, but they're a team that will do enough to get out of here with the W, right?
I agree. The only thing that scares me is the 2 interceptions that Baker threw last week to keep that game close. So that's why I would prefer a little tease action here with the Steelers. Tease that down to a 0.5 point. I have no reservations that the Buccaneers is going to walk out with this as a winner. It's just that is the Raiders going to keep it close enough to keep 6.5? That I don't know. I don't know what Raiders team is going to show up. I don't know if Max Crosby's going to end up playing his heart out. I don't know if Connor's going to play a good game, if Gardner Minshew's going to play. I don't know. I don't know anything about the Raiders and what they're going to do. What I do know is that Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a very good team. They're very solid. Baker is playing like an MVP, but he is prone to a turnover or two, like we've seen last week, to keep the game closer than what it should be. So therefore, the 6.5, I prefer the 0.5 point.
The great thing about Baker Mayfield is that he's an emotional player.
Mm-hmm.
The bad thing about Baker Mayfield is he's an emotional player. But it is though, right? Because the first interception, whatever, right? You just go, all right, it was a bad throw. Actually, the first interception, Otten didn't get out quick enough. Otten was supposed to get out. He was supposed to get to his spot, didn't run to, and you just throw it on a timing route. The second interception, somebody stepped on his ACL, right? Or somebody stepped on his Achilles after somebody that was in front of him tried to rip his helmet off and there was no flag. I mean, that was just insane. You can't, brother, I get it. I understand he's not Patrick Mahomes. I understand he's not Josh Allen. Can we make the calls, though? because his helmet
No,
was
I agree.
his helmet was half off his body, and then somebody stepped on his Achilles. And the stepping on the Achilles was the accident, but the on purpose was the ripping and this punching of the helmet. And I just think the NFL, I understand you're trying to sell certain athletes, and there's a bit of wrestling to it. I know you guys don't like to hear that, but it's true. But like we do have to protect some athletes, even the tougher ones. So he threw the interception after he came back, and he did the interview after the game, and he was beautiful about it. He said, I should have let Kyle finish the series out. That I should not have come back in on 3rd and 1, but I hate being off the field. That's why we love him. And that's why. And he threw the interception, and he was just trying to get back in there and prove to his coaches that he could still sling it. That's what he was trying to do. And, it was a pivotal spot in the game. I don't ask for laundry, but like, come on, man, that you almost let a player get really seriously injured.
No, I agree with that. And, we've seen that several times this year where you actually see a face mask by a defensive player against a quarterback and them totally missing it. But yet, they don't miss a defensive player coming down too hard on a quarterback. It's like, come on,
Yeah, I mean, this is the head and neck area, right? Like enough is kind of enough.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we both like the Bucs here. We're just both going about it in a different way.
Yeah.
Again, guys, keep track of these teases because when I give you my record and what my record is for the week, I'm counting these teases. All right, I'm not going through and saying, all right, it's 6.5. All right, I hit on that. No, I'm counting my teases. I'm counting my straight bets that I am giving you. That's that when I say I go 11-4-1, 8-3-1, it's because of the teases that I am giving you. If I say I'm giving you a straight bet, a money line bet, or a points bet, I will let you know.
Yeah, it's the number we play, not the number that they give you.
Exactly.
This is your money. This isn't theirs. Yeah. Like everybody talks about long shots, right? Because a long shot's the fun bet. Or should I say the long shot's the fun gamble? Because long shots don't come in as much as you guys want to glorify them. These are professionals in Las Vegas. These are professional money makers. These are professional line makers. They know what you want to bet. It's their job.
Yeah.
They know what you saw last week or what you thought you saw, and that's what they're playing.
Yep. They're making money off of your bets, guys.
They are.
Listen, they control the line. They control the line up until about Thursday. Or you guys control the line up till about Thursday. After Thursday, they control the line, boys. That's when they start making their bets.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, guys. Next, let's see here. We both like the Bucs here. Again, just going about it different ways. Next, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the Minnesota Vikings. This was 5.5 when we first started the podcast. It went up to 6. So right now, the Atlanta Falcons are getting 6 points. Over under is 47 points. Atlanta's at plus 215 money line. Minnesota is at negative 265.
All right, so let's dive into the game this way because I just thought about this, so that's why we'll do it this way. I think. Do you think Raheem Morris is a good coach?
Yes.
All right, because if we think Raheem Morris is a good coach, and everybody and their mother is laying money against Kirk Cousins, I don't know if it matters. Like, that's what we're betting on. We're betting on the Kirk Cousins that we saw last week and the previous weeks. But if Raheem Morris is a good coach, just like, he's a fictitious character, but I'm going to use him, right? Mick had Rocky learn how to fight differently because he was a good trainer. And maybe we'll get Kirk Cousins for some of this game, but maybe there's an installment. Maybe 20 play package, maybe a Washington-like, because that's where he was last year. Maybe a Washington-like package for Michael Penix to come in and start playing differently. And if that happens, the blitz that Minnesota likes to bring with Flores goes away because they don't know which side to blitz from because Penix is lefty. I'm just saying, if we believe that Raheem Morris is not just a, play it out, whatever kind of coach, maybe he does have his guy ready to go with an installment if he doesn't like what Cousins does early. And all of a sudden, Minnesota's looking around and they don't really know how to react. It's just a theory.
Yeah, I mean, could it happen? Yes. I don't think Raheem Morris is going to do that to Kirk Cousins right now. Maybe a couple games left in the season. If they continue losing, I think he might. This is Kirk Cousins' team. He's going to ride with Kirk Cousins. They paid him the money to be their quarterback. He looks old. Let's face it, guys. He looked worse than Aaron Rodgers, and we both know how we feel about Aaron Rodgers this year. He's dropped off. He's not a top 15 quarterback anymore. So I mean, same thing with
Morris has been known to go rogue.
No, you're right. I just don't think he will. I mean, they paid Kirk Cousins how much? 180, 160 mil? Something like that it was.
All right, let's do a scenario, right? 4 for 11 in the first quarter, 40 yards and an interception. Does he go to Penix then? I'm just saying, does he have
many interceptions? 5?
I'm just saying, like, does he have a book where he's already set up Penix ready to go? It needs to be thrown out there because we're betting a game for which we're going, well, Kirk Cousins sucked last week, so we'll just go with Minnesota because they're at home, blah, 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 blah. And I think all of a sudden, if there's a whole other game over here that Morris has, we could be betting on something we don't want to get into.
If you take away the 2 games they played against Tampa, the Falcons I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They have not. Kirk Cousins has not played well at all this year.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. Those 2 games. Those 2 games he threw for over 800 yards. 800 of his yards came from those 2 games, and I forget how many touchdowns. You take away those 2 games, he has been horrible this year. But we all forget because of the Kirk Cousins factor. Oh wow, he looked good. Well, I understand. They're coming up against a Minnesota Vikings team that is a top 10 team in scoring offense and a top 10 team in scoring defense. So I like Minnesota a lot here. I like them more at 5.5 than I do 6. This is a game that I might try to find a partner in this and maybe tease this down to a pick 'em. Because like I said, I really do like Minnesota here. Money line's at 254 negative for Minnesota. I mean, there's some wiggle room there, but not a lot. Not a lot to make too much money. Safe bet would be money line. So my suggestion is lay something big on the money line or take the Minnesota team, and I will give you a team to tease them with later on.
The truth is, to me, if you, I get it. I get all of it, and he's tough to bet, and he's tough to rally around. But I want Atlanta in the 6 points. It feels like this is going to land on a field goal. I don't think Atlanta wins. I think they lose by 3, and I want the 6 points. I just think that the team around Cousins is too talented not to compete with Minnesota. And at the end of the day, again, we'd be betting on a team that we've seen, but like this is indoors. It might as well be being played in Atlanta. I mean, it's the same circumstances. So I think you're betting Cousins against Darnold. Don't really care. Can Atlanta keep up scoring with Minnesota? We've seen it. It could be Groundhog Day where, he just, there he is, the Kirk Cousins that we remember. And you're halfway through the game and that TV is miraculously starting to make it from your living room to the outdoors because you just want to throw it in the middle of the road because that's what Kirk Cousins has done to you. Quick breaking news. Can I do it?
Yeah.
George Pickens is inactive today for fantasy owners. Inactive. George Pickens will not be playing football today.
That is huge with that Steelers game, then. I don't like them on a tease.
I just wanted that.
I might even like the Browns this game.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Browns getting points.
Pickens is a big part of that offense.
Yep.
big part of that offense. Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rethink this whole thing now.
All right. Oh, we're starting from the beginning. Start the show over.
I'm gonna have to let me bring this up real quick so I could let's see here. I can't believe that line hasn't moved yet.
Well,
Um,
I don't know. I think you'll see some movement. We're still a couple hours before the games, right? Not a couple, but about an hour and a half before the
hour
games.
and a half, about an hour and a half. Yep. I mean, 250 plus 215 money line.
Don't get cute.
Yeah, I mean they're good at running the ball too. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I gave you that Steelers Bucks tease. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it though. That the line did move down a half a point. Was at 6.5? It's down to 6.
Okay.
But it still didn't drop like I thought it was going to. Personally, now that Pickens is out, you might see that drop to 5.
I think 4.5 is going to be your open. Actually, now that you said that,
Yeah.
I think it's going to get 2 points down. Yeah, someone's going to place a major bet on Cleveland, and you're going to go, oh, okay.
Yeah. So, guys, if you guys want to hold off on that tease a little bit, wait right before kickoff. You might get some better odds. You might get you might actually end up getting some points with the Steelers. So why don't you guys hold off on that? I don't see that Bucks game going above 6.5 to begin with, so I think you're pretty safe with the spread on that.
Yeah, I mean, and there's always value out there.
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
Who's next?
Guys,
on our
again,
docket?
I do like the Vikings this game. It was at 5.5. It moved up to 6. I do like them better as a tease, as a pick 'em, and I will give you somebody that I really, really like this next game. This is another one of those games that I really, really like. Is the New York Jets at the Miami Dolphins. Jets are getting 6.5 points. Over under is 45. Jets are at plus 240. Miami is at negative 298. Now, Jack, you know how bad the Jets have been, right?
Yeah, the Jets have been.
They've been horrible this year. Every time I bet on them, I lose. Every single time, unless I tease them and I'm getting a couple points and they miraculously cover that way, I lose with the Jets.
I've heard a rumor where it's been so bad, a fan actually did poke their eyes out.
Listen, I at this point, I would believe it.
It's just a rumor. I don't know if someone really hurt themselves, but I heard that a fan was watching the TV and it was just blood-curdling screaming during a Jets game, and they couldn't see anymore. Put sunglasses on. I don't know what happened. Yeah, it's wild.
So if I told you this is the first week since week 6 the Jets has not been favored, would you believe me?
No.
Well, it's true.
Oof.
First game since week 6. As bad as the Jets have been, the Wise Guys has been on them every week, and they have been a favorite. This is the first week they haven't.
They're not on them this week.
No,
Or
they
are
are
they?
not. They are on the Dolphins this week. They do not like the Jets this week. I think they finally gave up on the Jets finally gave up on the Jets. I gave up on the Jets 2 weeks ago.
I did too.
Yeah. I listen, I stood behind them as long as I possibly could. I have nothing to benefit from the Jets. They're not my favorite team. I don't hate them. They're not on my radar at all. I just wanted to see him play good. I've always been an Aaron Rodgers fan. I kind of wanted to see him rekindle with Adams, see how that went, see how he played with Wilson, with Hall. On paper, they look like they were going to be a super team. We all seen how that turned out, just like the Eagles' super team.
Not so good.
Yeah, not so good. So with that being said, I love the Dolphins here. Love them. And I told you guys, did I not just say that I was going to give you guys a team to tease the Minnesota Vikings with? Tease them with the Dolphins. I'm giving you guys an easy win right here. Easy win. I'm giving you a pick 'em with the Minnesota Vikings. So all they have to do is win. I'm giving you where you're giving a half a point to Miami. So all they have to do is win. And I feel very strongly that both of these teams are walking away as winners today.
I got a feeling. So I understand the Dolphins. The Dolphins. Here's the problem with the Dolphins, and no one wants to talk about it, so I might as well. When it's almost Tomlin-esque, right? When the Dolphins are underdogs, they cover. When the Dolphins are favored, no cover. No. They never cover when they're ready to go. When every advantage that they have, right? You're saying, I mean, a couple weeks ago, this team we just talked about the Raiders, dead in the water. They went toe to toe with the Dolphins. What? I won't stand for it. I sat there the whole game going, why are the Raiders marching back down the field? And that was with Minshew, by the way. This Miami defense is garbage. It's part of their problem that they won't admit. And they're so fast on offense, they don't even give a bad defense a time to take a break. Right? It's almost Bengals-esque, where it's going to be high scoring. I want the Jets to getting 6. I think it's the first week that, yes, they're not favored. And yes, everybody's go ahead.
I'm not taking the Miami at 6. I'm teasing it down to 5.5. I'm not taking the 6.5 points, by the way. I'm not doing that. I'm not giving the 6.5. I'm giving 5 points or a half a point. I'm giving.
Yeah,
I want everybody to make sure they are hearing me perfectly clear. I am teasing this game. I am not taking Miami straight up with the 6.5 points, even though I think personally they'll cover that. That's not the bet I'm putting in.
So, and again, so we talked about this, right? Yesterday was a more important day for some NFL teams than today. That does not apply to the Jets. They're married to Aaron Rodgers until the end of next, or they're not. But guess what? They have no better options. They have absolutely no better options. So, like, your fans are going to either watch a second dumpster fire, which, by the way, next to a first dumpster fire, it's great kindling. It looks beautiful. You're just sitting there going, wow, 2 dumpster fires. But that's their only option. Their only option is to be interesting and have this guy talk up the team for next year. That's it. So you have to put together some momentum at the end of the year and at least see some flashes. I like the Jets here getting 6. Am I betting the Jets? No, I'm not stupid.
Dolphins are a warm weather team. Your last thoughts was the Green Bay game with the Dolphins, and again, it was at Green Bay. They're not a good cold weather team. And just to let you guys know, Tua is 7-1 against the spread with teams that are with the winning percentage of .250 or below. The Jets are below 250.
Yeah, so, I mean that's a great stat, and you know I think the Dolphins will win. God, I don't love this number. I think the number's there for a certain reason.
And again, that's why I am teasing it down to a half a point instead of making a 6.5.
Yeah, that's a great.
I personally think the Dolphins are going to win this very, very easily, but I am not taking that chance as a bettor. As a bettor, I am teasing it down to a half a point with that Vikings game, turning that Vikings game into a pick'em where I'm taking the Vikings.
Yeah, I get that. All right, I like that.
So yeah, I'm letting you guys know this because I don't want somebody in the comment section going, well, you said you were 11-4-1 and you went through all my picks and you're going into each individual game and you're like, wait a minute, no, he's not. No, I am with my teases. With my teases and my straight picks. Just you have to listen to Jack and I when we're talking about points. The points are very, very important when we're giving you our picks.
Yeah. Or we'll take the money lines and we'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll tell you about the money lines. I love money lines. Last year, I probably bet on more money lines than I have ever in my life. I kind of got sucked into them. It was like I found a new toy, you know? That's all I did. I did money lines. And then this year, I kind of blend the money lines in with some point spreads. You can make some really good money that way, guys. All right. Next, we got the Saints at the Giants. Saints are getting 5.5. Over under is 41. Saints are at -225 money line. The Giants are at +185 money line. Saints played a lot better football than I thought they were last week. They made that game really close, a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. And the Giants are the Giants. So, I mean, I do like the Saints here. I'm not thrilled with this game at all. We still got Tony Cutlets playing, right?
Yeah. Here's what's tough
know?
about this game, right? I don't know whether Brian Dable just seems like a guy that's not going to listen to anybody.
Mhm.
Like, even if management told him to lose games, I don't think he's going to pay attention.
No,
I just don't see it. And the Saints played better, but they lost their best player last week.
Mhm.
Taysom Hill's gone, and he's the emotional leader on that team. And Derek Bicycle goes through a lot of emotions every other play.
Mhm.
I don't want anything to do with this game.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't like this game.
Because I can be swayed to think the Giants. I can sway you to think the Giants, but I'd rather just tell you, the listener, to stay away from this game because I really.
But I think I could sway you towards the Saints then too. I mean, and anytime you can do that, where neither one of you guys are sure the person that you're talking about, but yet you're looking for points to make. Stay away from that game, guys. Just stay away.
Yeah, I think the Saints eke this game out by like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I see the Saints winning. I'm just not touching it.
You can get a couple fumbles here and there, right? And all of a sudden the defense is playing inspired football because there are players on the defense that are getting paid.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So and Tracy is a running back, and don't try. He's going to try his best because he's trying to prove that he's going to take that mantle next year for the Giants. And all of a sudden, you're like, Jesus, the Giants are driving, and it's 17-12. Fantastic.
Yeah, guys. For as much as a team's record might be their record and might be who they are, you still got players that are under contract for a lot of money. You got players that are playing for another contract, if not for that team, for another team. So you're still going to get players that play hard. So you got to watch out for, those sneaky turnovers, that fumble here or there, that backdoor cover. That's one of the reasons why I'm staying away from this game.
If Brian Dable was told to not win this game, I don't think he'd listen.
No, I don't think so either.
Whereas I think, Antonio Pierce for the Vegas Raiders, I think that if he was told the same, he would sit there and go, okay, well, I want to be coachable as well. I think he's coachable. I'm not saying he's the perfect coach. I think he's in the toughest division in football. But I also believe that he can be coached and swayed into putting on a fair performance, but also evaluating players as well.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Dable is going to go out there and crack your head, and you're like, Brian, we told you we're trying to get a quarterback in here.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, I don't like this game. Dable probably won't even have a job at the end of the year, so
we'll hire him.
They're going to be starting over, and they need to start with the GM. Get his ass out.
Yeah, he's not good.
Yeah, no. All right. Next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans. Jags are at +3.5. Over under is 40. Jaguars are at +150 money line. Tennessee is at -180 money line. Jack, who do you like here?
This one's kind of easy to me.
Yeah.
Jacksonville's terrible.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is absolutely throwing in the towel because I think they want to have a higher draft pick to get another wide receiver to play alongside of Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
For their quarterback, that's terrible. You guys know who he is. It's both of them. It's Trevor Lawrence, and today it'll be Mac Jones, and he wasn't good either. Here's what's interesting about this game, I think, at least. Mac Jones, when he was playing against Buffalo, right? This was many moons ago when Mac was a starter. He saw Josh Allen make a miraculous play, and then he would try to do the same thing. He's just not the same athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes for this game as well. I think he could see Will Levis make a tremendous play, and then he'll go, oh, I can do that. And he'll throw an out and it'll go back for a touchdown. And you'll be sitting here going, why did he even attempt that? That's kind of how Mac Jones is. He doesn't really know who he is. Like, he didn't smoke a cigar until he saw Joe Burrow do it. He just wants to be somebody else. Right? Mac just wants to be somebody else, and he can't be himself. Will Levis is going to be himself. This over-under set at 40. I think the Titans win. Here's what you need to understand about Will. And I'm a Will Levis guy, so just give me the podium for a minute. Last week was interesting because he started throwing short passes, 6 yards, 7 yards. They're trying to teach him when to take it. Not always, because me and Greg have talked, and you guys know, Will Levis will sling the damn thing. Will Levis will absolutely take your head off with a 70-yard bomb. There's no question. And there's no question that's what he wants to do. Now teams have all that tape, so they're trying to teach him 7 to 8 yard patience, 6, 7. Take the play that's available to you. They're trying to teach him, hey, everything can't be a bomb, right? Which is why I believe that not only does Tennessee win, that Will Levis goes under his pass. This is my player prop for the week, goes under 218.5 yards. For the past 5 weeks, he has gone over his player prop. They have moved it from 204, I believe it was last year, 204.5, all the way up to 218. You're not getting an over-under that supports him having to throw bombs. And if he didn't get behind early last week because Washington ran up and down the field on his defense, he wouldn't have had to throw them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So until he hit those bombs, which he did, he was trending under last week. I love this player prop. What do you think?
I like it. I do like Tennessee. First off, I need to defend my boy, my Bama boy, Mac Jones.
Don't
All right.
Don't do it.
All right. First off, he has had a cigar before he's seen Joe Burrow. He used to have them every year we would beat Tennessee. All right. So let's just stop right there. Everything else you have said, you have a valid point, except for that.
Sometimes I make things
that
up.
Being said, I also like Tennessee here. I also like Tennessee last week with them giving up all those points last week. It scares me a little bit. But ultimately, I have no faith in the Jaguars. Mac Jones has showed, besides his rookie year, that he's a career backup in the NFL. That's just simply how it is. And that's fine. You can make a living off of that. But ultimately, I do like Tennessee here. I think they're going to get a nice dose of Pollard and Spears. And I agree. To have 6 weeks in a row going over your players prop, it sounds right for him to go under this week. I kind of went nuts last week with him. He's been doing so well that I actually tried to make some more money off of him and tried to do a 250-yarder with him. Didn't quite work out for me, but, that's the way the cookie crumbles when you gamble.
Oh, you get see, I knew he was going to go over, but I didn't think that he hasn't been beating the door down. But I understand that we talked about how bad Washington's defense is.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I went so high with him. I was actually tempted to go 300 or more because I thought he was going to start tossing that ball around. The way he's been playing the last several weeks, he's been throwing the ball. And we talked about how bad Washington's defense was. I thought he was going to light it up. I really did.
Yeah, and I mean, if you guys have any fantasy guys that are out this week, like, I don't know, George Pickens might be out, right? You have an opportunity to go out. I just want to make sure I get his name correctly, to pick up Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. And that is Will Levis's number one target since Hopkins has been gone. This player has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 8 touchdowns the past 7 weeks.
Oh, that's great.
He's getting touchdowns. He's the number one target. He's averaging about 6.5 targets a game. One of them's a touchdown, and the other's a lot of yards. Will's gonna throw it, and he only likes him. He's only got eyes for Westbrook-Hines, right? So I think that if you were looking to pick somebody up, this would be your opportunity.
There you go, guys. And bye weeks, everything that's out there. You never know. Injuries better than Quentin Johnson.
Boy, who talks so pleasantly about the Tennessee Titans more than we do, huh?
Or I should say, as Jack does.
Oh,
Listen, I'll give you credit when you deserve it.
I appreciate that.
You've been pounding the drum on him all year, about Levitt's all year. So
He's got a gun.
No,
Like,
he does. He has a live arm. I
Right.
never denied that. I never denied that. What I denied is what I seen when he turned the ball over in the most inopportune times. And that's it.
Yeah.
He's down on them.
Yeah, I think you can start to wrangle if you have, again, we were talking about Cousins earlier. It's starting to go away. Like Levis was still a high round draft pick because that thing is a howitzer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really, he gets a line back there. That team's going to be dangerous. They get a running game. My God, I just want to be ahead of it.
I just want to say something really quick for your average fans that are just watching us. If you haven't heard, listened to much sports this past week, I'm just going to regurgitate some of the stuff one thing that they kept saying. I heard a lot of them say that if the Falcons ever find a coach that can learn how to use Kyle Pitts, that guy is going to be a Hall of Famer. The coach I'm talking about, and not Pitts. Because he is a mismatch waiting to happen. He has had two coaches that has not been able to figure out how to use him.
It's so easy too. It's so easy. You didn't need. I understand they wanted to. You didn't need to draft Drake London. You move Kyle Pitts from the tight end position to the wide receiver position because here's something really interesting in the metrics for the combine. He measured number 2 in all the wide receiver metrics. Do you know who beat him out in all those metrics? Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase beat him out in all those metrics, but he ran those metrics to prove how athletic he was just against every other wide receiver. And there were a lot of other cats in that draft. He beat them all out. He beat every single one of those cats out. So I look at things this way, like he's not a tight end. He's not a blocker. So stop doing that. Stop it. We want a guy that can block. Well, then you go over there and you block. Yeah. You're an idiot. Don't try to make a guy what he is. Fit him into what he's awesome at.
Yeah.
Right? You keep trying to put the square into the circle and you're eventually going to get it there, but at what cost? Start running him at wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's very simple. He's the second best wide receiver in that draft class. You are blowing it. It's very simple.
And it's so simple. Just go back and look at his Florida tape. You want to learn how to use him correctly. Look at his Florida tape. Implement that into your play calling.
Yeah, it's very easy. And he's a walking touchdown.
Yeah. Yes. It's mind-boggling how he doesn't get at least one target every red zone opportunity. He should at least have one end zone target.
Yeah. I mean,
he's a special player.
Hey, Raiders, if you're listening, you want a free guy? I understand Brock Bowers is very good. He's a fantastic tight end. You want a wide receiver?
Bowers is disgusting.
Yeah, but you got Bowers and Pitts, and then you had Myers. Now you got a team, and you draft a quarterback. Now you're starting to do something.
Agree. Yeah, I agree.
All right. What's the next game?
We got, let's see here. That was Tennessee. We both like Tennessee here. Next, we got Seahawks at Arizona Cardinals. Seahawks are at +2.5. Over under is 45.5. Seattle's at +120. Cardinals are at -142. What do you like here, Jack?
I love Arizona in this spot. I think that they've had a couple tough weeks. I think that they were due for some regression. I did not like Arizona, even though they were favored when they traveled up to Seattle. I went, that wind and, it's kind of a Geno Smith kind of game. Seattle had played a couple bad games in a row. Now they will not. And I kind of think now the shoe is on the other foot, right? Again, Seattle's got, we'll call it a commanding lead in that division. because in any other division they'd be barely surviving in some, right? So in that division, it's been riddled with injuries, and it's a commanding lead right now. I think I love. Well, I don't think I love Arizona in this game. The over under is set at 44.5. I think that goes over. And if you watched, and I think this is going to start to happen, Kyler Murray's starting to develop a little bit of a rapport with Harrison Jr. Like, it's finally starting to, I understand that he was a top draft pick in fantasy football because all you guys are crazy. He's a rookie. There are going to be problems. They're going to find ways to stop this kid. He's not just going to walk in and be his dad. Okay. But I do like him for an anytime touchdown. I think that's a great bet this week. He got one last week. I think you get the kid rolling towards the end of the season. I don't know if they make the playoffs. I think they get Seattle today. I want them on the money line because you're getting value.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. You make valid points across the board. You were on Seattle when I was on Arizona. I was on Arizona last week. They disappointed me. I was on Arizona a couple of times this year. They disappointed me.
You sound like an angry father.
I'm very angry. I'm very angry with Arizona and Seattle this year.
They disappointed me.
And the Jets. You throw those three teams in there. I'm not happy with any of those three teams. This was a game that I planned on staying away from when I first seen it. Until I seen how bad Kyler Murray played last week. He's not going to have back-to-back bad weeks. He's just not. He's a good quarterback. He's young. He's still growing into himself. He'll get better. Like Jack said, he started developing a rapport with Harrison Jr. They still have Connor with that ground game. I think they tried getting away from that a little too much last week, which kind of hurt them. You are who you are. Denny, who said that? Denny Green said that. Remember for the Vikings, you are who you are. Your record is what we are. Your record is what they are.
Yeah.
So I do like Arizona here. I think they're going to win this game. I don't see Kyler having back-to-back bad weeks. Black Six has been out for a couple weeks now, so I think he'll be all right.
Let me help you. No Kenneth Walker for the Seahawks.
I like it even more then.
I
like it even more. And like I said, Black Ops 6 has been out a couple weeks, so
How dare you take shots at the Murray household?
Come on, it's funny.
It is.
What other professional athlete have you ever heard that about?
Bronny James.
No,
I'm sorry. I apologize. He's not a professional athlete. He's not. He isn't.
All
right.
What's we both like the Cardinals here. I'm taking the 2.5 points. I think they win by more than the field goal here, so I'm not worried about that.
All right.
Next game I really, really like. We got the Buffalo Bills at the LA Rams. Bills are giving 3.5. Over under is 49.5. Bills are at a negative 192 money line. Rams are at plus 160 money line. I like the Bills here.
I know you like the Bills here.
The two games that that Allen has played against the Rams, he has passed for over 80%. The Rams have one of the best offensive lines in the league. They keep Josh Allen up, and even if they do let him down, it's hard in hell to tackle that guy. And the way the Rams defense works is by disrupting the pass, by getting to the quarterback. So therefore, that doesn't play into the Rams' favor. The Rams have been playing subpar ball the last couple of weeks. So for that fact alone, I do like the Bills this week.
I think it's really, really, really. That's 3 really. So you guys better pay attention. I think it's really important for the Bills to play a bad game. And I know that sounds crazy, right? Because you want to put your best performance on the field every single game sometimes. Because everyone now, you've got the attention of everybody. You beat the Chiefs. You have a tremendous record. Your division is sewed up. All those things are true for the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to win this game. And even more importantly, the team that you're going to be playing in just a week, I believe, is now sitting back, relaxing, having a cocktail, and watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Those Detroit Lions will be watching this game. Dan Campbell will be watching this game. I mean, they have total pride. I mean, that's all they're going to do, right? Every game is important to us because we call every game. Detroit Lions got their eye on this game today. And I think it's very important for the Bills to put the least amount of tape that they can out there today. There are some games that are created differently. This is one of them, right? The Rams, well, but the Rams are unpredictable and they've been up and down. Okay. And this game is set at 49.5. 49.5 screams to me that the Rams are going to participate. Someone thinks that offense is going to play well. And I think in order for that offense to participate in this game, the Bills offense needs to be off the field. And I think they're going to run a vanilla offense. And they're going to put out a performance that's lackluster. And if they lose, so be it. It really doesn't matter. I know we want to win every game. No, you don't. At this point, you need to prepare for the playoffs. I know you want to win the AFC. I get that. But it doesn't need to necessarily be done this week. And I think that they're going to put a decent performance out there. They probably win by 3. This line, by the way, should be closer to 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why it isn't. And maybe that's why. I just want to put that thought process out there for people because they don't look at the fact. They just think their team should win every week. And there's a lot more to this game.
I'll tell you right now why it's not at 6. There's 2 reasons. 1, they're flying across country. And 2, the Bills, the last 3 games have been a gauntlet for them. That's why it's at 3.5.
Yeah,
it's
but
because
I think
it's been a gauntlet.
Yeah.
But to me, that just means that they're battle tested. To me, that's what that means. They're battle tested. They're far and above a more superior team than the Rams from top to bottom of that roster.
Yeah, I think they are. But this feels tricky to me. And I don't like it.
Finally, I mean, Cook, he's playing lights out. James Cook is finally playing a good ball. Finally giving him the ball. Finally giving him the chance to rush. So yeah, I more and more I talk about it, the more and more I love the Bills.
Yeah, no, I get it. I will be taking the Rams 3.5.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, even if you wanted to take the money line, -192, it's a sub 200 money line. -200 money line. You could make a couple bucks.
You know, I don't have to ask the question, do I think McVay is a good coach? I know he's a good coach. He will have their attention. I know people are saying that Stafford's banged up. I think he looks fine. I think the line's not great. But then again, Buffalo doesn't really get after the rusher, or they really don't get after the passer. They don't get him. So, yeah, I do believe that all eyes will be on Buffalo, and the eyes will be from the Lions, and they'll be paying attention to this game. And McVay knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Not McVay. McDermott knows that. And I wonder if some of it goes into his play calling. I wonder.
Okay. Probably what I do like the Rams, or not the Rams, the Bills this game. Probably what I am going to do, though, I'm probably going to tease this game along with the Chiefs and Chargers game. So just to give you guys a heads up on that. But we'll talk about the Chargers Chiefs game here in a minute.
All right.
Next, we got the sorry guys. We got the Chicago Bears at the San Francisco 49ers. Bears are getting 3 points. Over under is 43.5. Bears are at +140. The Niners are at -166. Still no Trent Williams. For all you guys that don't know, unfortunately, his wife gave birth very, very early, and a stillborn was born. So he lost a child. That's 2 people on our team that has lost their child this year. So some very sad news, and my prayers goes out to the Williams family. So yeah, that's sad. So he's still not back. So in my opinion, again, I understand this is their job, but again, it's a game. That's your life. Take as much time as you need. Get yourself together. Get your head straight. For any parent to lose a child, my heart bleeds for you.
Yeah.
So, after that, let's talk about the game. I am not taking this game. I don't like this game at all. I know you're shocked. I know you're shocked. I don't like this game. The Bears have been just right there, it seems like every single game. And they just learned how to lose. But I think they learned how to lose because of that coach. And what they do, they cut him out. He's gone. So I'm anxious to see how they play this game. We all know, Jack and I have talked about this. The first game for an interim coach, that's usually the game you want to pound on. Normally I would, but for as bad as the Niners have been playing, they're grasping at straws right now. So really wouldn't be surprised me if the Niners did pull this one out. That is the reason why I'm not touching this game.
To me, the Niners feel like to me the Niners feel like if the Jets kept Robert Saleh. That's what they feel like. You there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. They feel like they've lost. They feel the 49ers feel like a team that if the Jets kept Robert Saleh, they'd have the same record. They just don't feel like they just don't. I haven't seen anything from San Francisco, to be quite honest. I haven't. I waited for them to go up 3-0 against Buffalo, and then I took Buffalo. I just thought that Josh Allen's skill set was going to surpass everyone in the snow, and it did.
Right? I took the Bills right off. I didn't wait. I took them right off.
So, who's the best, team in this game? I don't really know. I do like Isaac Garendo. I do like him over 71.5 rushing yards. I just think that line runs the ball well, and the kid's going to give it his all. I don't know. I like the Bears here. I'll plant a flag, right? I'll go out there and I'll say it because I haven't seen anything from San Francisco, and I saw the Bears go toe to toe with the Lions.
I agree. I agree. You make some valid points.
That's the answer.
Yeah. Again, I'm not touching this game, and it's not because it's my team. Believe me, I've won money off of my team the last 3 weeks by betting against them. So I have no issue betting against my team if it's going to make me a couple bucks. I just don't know really what's going to end up happening in this game.
Ready? So the Bears have lost every other week by a field goal. This week they win by a field goal.
Oh, I could definitely, yeah.
Right, or by 2 points. It's going to be on the leg of a Bear kicker. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So next we got, and guys, now that I'm looking at this, we'll talk about that in a minute here. Next, we got the Sunday night game. We got the LA Chargers against the Kansas City Chiefs. Chargers are getting 4 points. Over under is 42.5. Chargers are at plus 180 money line. Chiefs are at negative 218 money line. Jack, what's your thoughts on this game?
This is mispriced. It really is mispriced. I know what we've seen from the Chargers, and I know that the Chiefs can't cover anything except this week. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to cover this game. I think, Harbaugh, it does great, when he's running schemes. Anybody that has any quarterback that can break down a defense, his schemes they start, and he doesn't have and then all of a sudden, and that's what's going to happen in this game. That's what's going to happen. I think Patrick Mahomes can break down this defense. The offense doesn't have enough to go toe to toe with Kansas City, and you're going to find out. It is a great game for Harbaugh and the Chargers, right? Because they're going to find out exactly what they need to beat this team. And they're going to need 7 to 10 points that they will not be able to find. I love the Chiefs on the money line here, but I think you could take them -4 and they cover. I really do.
Okay.
I think that this could look a lot like the game they lost, right, to Buffalo. Only they're on the opposite end this time. 9-point win.
Okay. I do like the Chiefs here also. Are we there?
Yeah, bro.
Okay, it just sounded weird. All right, I do like the Chiefs here also. Chargers, they don't look the same since Dobbins went down. They don't have that same punch. Teams aren't biting on the play action pass as much since Dobbins went down. So in turn, offense hasn't been doing as much. With that being said, their wide receiver core is banged up. Chiefs are getting healthier as this season goes. So I do like the Chiefs here, but what I do like is I said that give me a minute and I'll let you guys know is I like what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills and I'm going to take the Chiefs and I'm going to tease this. I'm going to tease this to where I'm getting 2 points with the Chiefs and I will be getting 2.5 points with the Bills. So that's what I'm going to do. That's 3 teases I gave you guys today. So keep that in mind. Those 3 teases are going to hit. So lay the money down on them. Lay the money down on them. I'm letting you guys know. Don't let this opportunity pass. These games like this doesn't happen often when you have like a good 6 games where you think you can tease those points down and make some good money off of it. So, guys, those 6 games I gave you today, please tease those down. Take those 3 teases. So that's what I have about that. As far as the Chiefs go, the Chiefs have been playing a lot better ball lately. Patrick, what's that?
They have, but people haven't really paid attention to it. You know, it's the shiny toy over here, and then people get lost in week 8. We're not in week 8.
Yeah, no, we're past that already. Like I said, and they're getting healthier, and the Chargers aren't. They're getting more unhealthy. I still love Harbaugh, guys. You guys, listen. Most of the time, I'm going to pick the Chargers, but not when they're banged up like this, and they need to find a solution at running back because Dobbins was a huge part of that offense and how they started clicking. If there's no threat of the run, and there really wasn't with Edwards, so they need to find it. They need to find an answer there.
Yeah, they take that kid out of Arizona State, maybe. That would be huge.
Yeah, second best rusher in the league.
Yeah, and maybe the best talent, honestly.
Possibility. It's hard to believe that Gentry's disgusting. Average.
He is.
Yards a carry.
He is
disgusting, especially when they know you're getting the ball.
Behind that line, I think I can average 4.
I'm just saying.
No, I don't. I get it.
Just saying. All right. So, let's see, where are we? I need to get back to that screen. There we go. All right. So we both like the Chiefs here. Don't be afraid of the 4 points. Jack is, and I'm really not. I'm just playing a safe bet here that I really like. I really like Buffalo and the Chiefs, and why not combine those 2 picks to where you're getting points instead of giving points?
Yeah, that's a great bet.
All right. So next we got Monday night game. We got Cincinnati Bengals against the Dallas Cowboys. Bengals are getting 5.5. Over under is 49.5. Money line Bengals are at -230. Dallas Cowboys are at +190. Just a tough game, Jack. Very tough game.
You think so?
Yeah.
I just think it's gonna be. I just think it's gonna be the Bengals. Okay. You don't have to. There's not much going on, right? This game was set up way before we got to this point with these teams, right? It was supposed to be Dak Prescott against Joe Burrow, right? 2 playoff teams on Monday Night Football. Let's go. And it's not. It's not. The schedule makers don't get what they wanted. It's a Bengals team that has a high-powered offense, but they're basically out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you have a Cowboys team with Cooper Rush and CD maybe, and they just don't have it. It's kind of a tragedy what's happened to the Cowboys this year. I know we all hate the Cowboys, but at the end of the day,
I didn't think it was a tragedy. Really? I thought it was comedy we were watching.
Well, yeah, but it's a tragedy for fans that expected a good team, right?
No, I get it. I get it.
not only did they expect a good team, the NFL expected them to be way more competitive. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had this Monday night matchup so late in the year, right? These schedules are set up for a purpose. And now we're not getting that game. So
Yeah, this was supposed to be a prime game. I mean, Bengals, Cowboys, just the names alone, you know, screams great game. But unfortunately, both teams have not performed up to par this year. This is a tough game. Very, very tough game. Cowboys have been playing a lot better. Since Parsons come back, that defense has been playing good. They've been able to put up some points with Cooper Rush. But ultimately, I think the Bengals, their offense is just too much for the Cowboys.
that's right.
I do like the Bengals here. 5.5 is a good chunk. I personally am not going to take this game, but if I was, I do Bengals money line. Try to make a couple bucks. There's a lot. I mean, what is that? 295, 298. What was that money line?
And you know what?
230. So you can make a little bit, not much though.
It's one you could wait on, right? Because it's almost telling you that Dallas will get the ball first. I don't know whether they will or not, but Dallas might get the ball first and at least partake in a field goal, right? Now you got a minus 185 because that Bengals defense has looked like themselves. And now the line starts moving, you get a better deal, and then it's 7-3, and now it's back up to minus 300. It crests over the 230 mark. You're at minus 300, and now you're off to the races, but you got a good deal, right? I think you could wait on this game. Obviously it's not today, it's Monday night. So you can wait on this game, take your winnings from today, take all those teases and those parlays and those easy winners that we gave you that you did not gamble on, that you took bets on, and move them over to the Bengals, right? Spike Monday night, and then you walk away and you feel good.
There you go. Yeah, I'm not touching this game. I don't like enough either team to put anything on this, but if I was, it would be the money line on the Bengals.
You don't like the Bengals enough to beat the Cowboys?
No, I don't. Just because of how they've been playing the last 2 weeks. Cowboys have been playing a lot better. Their offense isn't nearly as sad as it was. Cooper Rush is playing just as good as Dak was playing, if not better.
Yeah.
So, and that Dowlings, I think his name is the running back.
Dowdle.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing the last 2 games. He's been playing very, very well. He's been running the hell out of the ball. So that alone, that's why I'm not totally sold on it. If you would have hit me up last week and it was the same thing, I would have took the Bengals in a heartbeat. But again, the Cowboys have impressed me the last 2 weeks. So that's why I can't fully go with the points, but I'll take the Bengals if I had to.
I think this is going to look a lot like that Houston-Dallas game.
It very well could be. I mean, the Bengals have a high-powered offense.
Where there's some participation from Dallas early, and then all of a sudden Burrow takes the top off it, and then you're sitting there going, "Okay, well, here we go."
That very well could happen.
It was very close, and then all of a sudden Stroud went, "I'm done with this."
Very, very well could happen. That's again, there's too much what ifs on this game for me. That's why I'm staying away from this game. I say this now, it's Monday night. Of course, I'm probably going to take the game because I'm a degenerate.
Oh my God. Here we go.
But my advice to you is stay away from the game. Quick, guys,
really
I'm going to give you a quick parlay, guys, to take with money lines. Write this down if you guys want. I'm going to give you Bucks money line, the Dolphins money line, Bills money line, and Chiefs money line. 14 parlay, guys. So write that down. Take them. All money line bets. I feel very, very strongly about that 14 parlay, guys.
If you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I am getting George Pickens out of my lineups. He's not playing.
Smart move.
He's not playing.
All right, guys. That was our Monday night game. As always, we always come across and give you guys the Thursday night game because we don't see you guys back here until Sunday. So our Thursday night game is, I lost it here. It is the Rams at the 49ers. So a lot of this game is going to be decided on how both teams played this week.
Yeah,
If the Rams come out and look competitive against the Bills, I might.
What's that line at right now?
What's that?
What's the line at right now?
3.5, right? Is that what I said? 3. 49ers are giving 3. I'm sorry. Rams are getting 3. Over under is 47. Money line is at plus 124 to Rams, negative 148 for the 49ers.
Boy, the 49ers are favored this week and then not favored again. So it's a little interesting, right?
On Thursday night, they're favored. Rams
The
are getting
49ers
3 points.
The Rams are getting 3 points.
Yeah. Rams are getting 3
So the 49ers are favored back-to-back weeks.
back weeks. Yes.
God, it feels like the Jets to me.
And what's weird is the Rams are the Bills are favored by 3.5 over the Rams, and the 49ers are favored 3 over the Rams.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
You know?
You know what? I'd take the Rams. I think the 49ers lose today, and I think they lose on Thursday. You haven't showed me anything, so why should I believe you now?
No, and I agree. I agree totally. I think this is be one of those games we split the series. The Rams won the first game at the Rams, even though we had a 10-point lead with like 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and we ended up blowing that because we didn't have a kicker. That's the game that Moody went down. And I just don't understand. I don't mean to get off the subject here, but you were a soccer player. You were a soccer player. So when it comes to kicking, I'm going to defer a little bit to you. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
You have your field goal kickers. You have your punters. All right. You got some that could do both. If your field goal kicker goes down, why is it so hard for a punter to kick a field goal? You have to mess around at some point in practice.
Yeah, but so we both have the same legs, right? That's basically what you're trying to say, right? And why can't? But kicking isn't.
You're both. My point is, you're both the kicker. You both know how to kick the ball properly. Where to kick the ball to get it to move the way that you want it.
So it's almost like anything. So like defenders, right? Defenders in soccer, right? They can boot the ball, right? That's their job is to boot the ball. And, most of them have played, different positions throughout their career in soccer, but now their job is to boot the ball to a general area, not a perfect area.
Mm-hmm.
So think about a defender like a punter. His job is to boot the ball into a general area, not a perfect area, right? A field goal kicker's job lies more in the hips than it does the actual foot itself. The foot's going to work. But it's a lot like Justin Tucker hasn't had a great year. And somebody said to me the other day, they said, God, his leg is gone. I go, his leg is fine. His hips do not swing with the same snap anymore. Mm-hmm. And so what he's trying to do is he's trying to aim and he's trying to find a way to get a little bit more. And he's really struggling against himself. And it's unfortunate and everybody knows it, but you're going to have to ride it out the rest of the year with him. But it's his hips. It's not his, and you could see him trying to line it up and trying to have that 53. He doesn't have it anymore. It's the hips, not the foot. Mm-hmm. And so that's really what we're talking about here. It's your body turning almost a certain way, just trying to get the movement correct. And punters only have to get a nice little circle, right? Like it's almost like amateur golfers, right? Amateur golfers are happy to be on the green. Professional golfers better put it within 12 feet. You're like, oh, that's not a big difference. It's a huge difference.
That's a huge difference. Yes.
So that's the difference. It's amateur golf versus professional golf. That's you don't think it's a lot, but a 12-foot putt is way easier to hit than a 24-foot putt.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the difference. That's the whole game.
Okay. All right.
That's the whole game.
And I know Pat McAfee in college, he did both. And then when he went to the NFL, they just said, no, you're going to be a punter.
Right. So he was he was pretty good. Yeah,
Oh, Pat
kind of like
McAfee
how
was
he
very
commented.
good punter. Very good punter.
Kind of like
You
how
know,
he commentates.
they kind of, you know, you can't really replace Vinatieri. You know, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer that was kicking for them. So, you know, there's a
like
reason why he didn't do both. But
the best kicker in the league right now is Brandon Aubrey.
yeah,
And it's not because people go, oh, well, it's because he kicks it so far. No, it's not. Watch his hips. His hips move so quickly, and the foot just comes after it. It's really all in the hips, right? Yeah. See, look, we're dancing all in the hips. All in the hips. As it really is. Though. It really is. Because at punting, you don't use your hips.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah,
the real
it's just a leg. It's just a leg swing.
And in retrospect, when you're punting, right, you come up off your calves, right, and you kind of you thrust forward that way, right, forward. You're more of a forward mover and a burst, almost like a basketball jump, right? That's what you want to come through. So it's two different motions, really. Some guys can do both of them. It's not preferred. You're trying to see a circle as a punter instead of posts as a kicker, right? It's that's kind of how I would explain it, right? It really is a little bit of an art.
All right. Well, it's definitely an art. It definitely is. It's definitely a skill set. I just as an average person who never played soccer or who never kicked, I was a corner. So you know, I just wanted to know from a kicker's perspective, you know, is it really that big of a difference?
Yeah, like I played midfield. I wasn't fast, but I knew how to distribute. So sometimes what you want to do is you want the front of the soccer ball to kind of be towards the front part of your arch, so that if you're kicking someone open, you get the ball to spin a certain way towards the out of bounds area so that they can catch it almost with their foot and kick it at the same time. You want to have certain spin on the ball. Like you just have to know that person's speed, how you want it to look, getting it past the defender. There's lots of stuff.
Okay. All right.
You got me back in the game now.
All right. So ultimately, way too early pick for Thursday. Jack likes the Rams. I like the 49ers here. The opposite way this week. Jack likes the 49ers, correct? And
No, I like the Bears.
We both like. Okay, you like the Bears. I'm leaning more towards the Bears, but I am absolutely not touching that game, guys.
And if the Bears win, I like your pick better on Thursday.
Oh, the Bears win. I love my pick Thursday.
Yeah.
The only way I don't love the pick Thursday is if the Rams come back out and beats the Bills, which I don't see that happening at all. So
even if that does happen, I still like your pick better.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I actually like the Rams coming down off a huge high, having to deal with Shanahan, and the 49ers having a terrible week of practice because he's gonna go crazy. So
all right, guys. That's our picks for this week, guys.
Week 14.
Like always, week 14. Make sure you guys watch it, put our bets in, listen to what our bets are, and just hit that withdraw button when you're done.
Yeah. And guys, do us a favor. Do us a solid, right? We're giving you all this information. We put an hour and a half in on our Sunday for your Sunday. Want to like, subscribe to Every Point Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe to OldGamerGK Entertainment. He has a great time over there. And do me a favor. Like and subscribe to Fantasy Farm Sports. I give you picks. Greg gives you picks. Right, we give you picks every week. At least, let's say we don't do well, but we have been. If we don't do well, at least we gave you something to think about before you go and put that money in, or before you go and talk sports with your friends. Now you have some new information that you could send their way.
Yeah, Jack, actually, that's a great point. Guys, even if you're not a bettor, water cooler talk when you come into work, man. We're giving you guys knowledge. You guys are going to look like you guys are NFL experts if you listen to us.
By the way, the boss does give promotions to guys he likes to hear cool things from and hang out with around this time of year, right? This is how you get your bonus, baby.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's it for us this week. Jack, you want to sign us off?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our week 14 Every Point Sports podcast that has gotten you ahead of the lines.
Guys, have a great